Hello and all, welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So I am back again. So for my very first guest of this week is this incredible singer and songwriter known by the name of Kyla. So I'm about to add Kyla into the live now to have a chat with Kyla about her incredible music that she's performed. So yeah, let's add Kyla in and have a chat with Kyla. Hey,
Hi.
Kyla.
Nice to meet you.
You too. I just want to say first up, thank you so much for taking the time to join my show. It's such a pleasure having you on the show today.
Oh,
To
thank you
people
for
that
having me.
don't know, to people that don't know who you are, if you can give like a bit of backstory about yourself, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm from Canada. I'm currently living in British Columbia. Actually up at a ski mountain resort slash is a bike park in the summer. But I'm originally from a super small town in Ontario, and yeah, I'm super passionate about songwriting.
Awesome. So we'll dive right into the questions now. So you've created incredible original songs. For the first one I'm going to name is Thought. So you've created a song called Thought You Had More Time. What was it like coming up with the idea of creating this original song, and what's like the meaning behind this one?
This one was actually super hard one to write. Yeah, I never really sat down and planned to write it. It was more of I had someone really close to me who I didn't really know if they were gonna make it and come through, and I didn't really want to touch on that topic because it was hard to think about, and music has always been really therapeutic, and so I was just playing it one day and the words just kind of came, and I kind of just went with it, and it was actually really helpful to write it for me. Yeah.
Well, can I just say, I had to listen to it and I'm like, wow, like this song is truly sensational and you did such a fantastic job at making this song. So I really applaud you on your job at creating this song. Really well done.
Oh, thank you so much.
So on to my very next question. So you've also created a song called Enough. What was it like coming up with the idea of creating this original song, and what's the meaning behind this one?
This one, I mean, it's more about one of my first relationships and something that I really had to learn. And I mean, I still play it when I need to remind myself of these things, which is a good reminder. But it's basically about a relationship when you get super comfortable with each other that it's easy to take the other person for granted and, you know, kind of just do the bare minimum. And yeah, and it was just about me really trying to figure out, okay, like, I know what I'm worth. I need to stop, you know, letting people take advantage of me. And it's hard because it's like you can love this person so much, but you know, it's like sometimes you just don't like your life with them, and you also don't like who you are with them, and you know, sometimes there's that is deciding when to leave because of it.
So on to our very next question. So you've also created an original song called Demons. What was it like coming up with the idea of creating this one, and what's the meaning behind Demons?
Yeah, so that one's mainly about when someone's going through something like a hard time, and you really love this person, and you see them spiraling, but they're not telling you what's going on, and they're not letting you in, and you want to do something, and you see them hurting, and you want to help them, but they're just not letting you in, and yeah, that's what that song's about.
So on to the very next question. So you've also created an original song called Together Now. What was it like coming up with the idea of creating this one, and what's the meaning behind Together Now?
That one, so I've lived in I moved around a lot as a kid, and I lived in a lot of small towns, and that one's actually about, there's so many things I love about small towns. Like, I love that you can walk in and everybody knows you and you know everyone. But the hard part is when you're dating someone, everybody knows. So when you break up, everybody knows too. And yeah, so it's basically just like, you know, people that know you in town, they're like, oh, like, I heard this happen, or how are you? How are you doing? I'm so sorry that didn't work out. And it's nice and they all mean well, but you know, sometimes it's like you don't want to be reminded of this person because you're trying to move on, and especially if you want a friendship with that person, you need to be able to kind of take a break from that whole situation for a bit.
On to our very next question. So you've also created a song called Anyway. What was it like coming up with the idea of creating Anyway, and what's the meaning behind this one?
So that one, I actually wrote that one quite a while ago. I posted it a lot later than when I wrote it, but it is basically about yeah, when you're in a relationship and you're at that point where you know all the surface level stuff about each other, and it's like, okay, well, where do we go after this? Like, am I going to let this person in? Am I going to let them into my world and know more about me and know these secrets that I don't tell everyone? And yeah, so it's making that decision to still tell all these people these things and let them know that vulnerable side of you, even though it's super scary, and wondering, is this going to be a deal breaker? Are they going to leave me because of these things? And so, yeah, it's about loving someone not just because of all the great things about them, but also in spite of some things sometimes as well.
Awesome. So, on to our next question. So, what made you decide as a person and especially as a music artist to get into singing in the first place?
Well, I kind of, yeah, I've kind of always done a little bit of stuff in entertainment ever since I graduated high school. I started working as like an assistant in entertainment management, and then also a little bit within film, like doing some behind the scenes stuff and a little bit of like acting and things like that. And so I've always been kind of around that creative energy and storytelling. And yeah, so I don't know, it just, I grew up playing guitar a little bit, and I don't know, I was like, okay, well, I was bored one day and I was like, maybe I'll just try writing, because I really like journaling and writing things down. So I don't know, it just became really fun for me, and another outlet to tell stories. And yeah.
So, let's go to our next question. So, who would be your all-time inspirational person, or like, say, music artist that you look up to music-wise?
I'd definitely say Julie Michaels. She's my all-time favorite. I've loved her ever since like her EP came out. All my friends can attest to this. I make all my friends listen to her music all the time on every road trip. I love her writing. I mean, I love the fact that she's also written to so many other artists as well, which would be something that I really want to do someday too. And I love how truthful every lyric that she says is, and she goes into topics and says things that not everyone wants to touch on and talk about. And I'm like, I love that about her. She just goes for it.
Sounds like our next question. So, what does performing music mean to you, like, especially as an artist?
Yeah, so I've actually never really performed any of my songs live. I've only performed on the internet because I kind of just started posting them during COVID. So that's gonna be once COVID tapers down and things start to open up and live venues and stuff. I really want to play at some pubs and play at some places, and yeah, that'll be a next step for me. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, to ask this question, if you could go anywhere on tour, what country or place would you want to go to, and why?
Ooh, I've always wanted to go to Ireland. I've always seen people play on Grafton Street. I don't know if I'd be able to. I think there's a bit of a process to go on it, of course, but oh my God, it looks so much fun. Like, I see all these videos of people just busking there, and it seems like such a community they formed there too. That would be a dream.
Awesome. So, let's go to our next question. So, if you could work with any top 3 music artists in the music industry, who would they be and why?
Definitely Julie Michaels. Love her lyrics, love her songs. I think she's just an amazing artist. I think another one would definitely be Ed Sheeran. I've always loved his music, and I love that his music is so universal too. Like, you can play them at weddings, and so many people have his songs attached to a lot of their memories. I'm like, that'd be so cool to, have something kind of like that and write with him, and that'd be amazing. And another one, I really love this artist called Maisie Peters. I love her music. Oh my gosh. All my friends know this. Like, where I work, we actually have, we get to play music over the whole village. It's like a ski mountain place. And a lot of my friends, when I'm out of the office, they're like, oh, I'm playing this song just for you, Kyla. Like, listen to the speakers.
Yes.
I love her music. Yeah, that'd be a dream.
So awesome. So, let's go to our next question. So, what have you learned about yourself as a person, and especially as a music artist, like, during COVID?
I think it's really made how much it brings people together, and how much of a much needed distraction it can be from things that are going on. That's really stood out to me. yeah, when the whole pandemic started happening, like right in the very beginning, I was living in Toronto, Ontario. It's like a big city in Canada, and I moved out of the city as soon as I saw people like fighting over toilet paper, and I was like, okay, I'm out. And I moved up north for a couple of months with my grandma, where it's like a super small town of like, oh my gosh, I don't know, 600 people. And we used to like go hiking a lot on the trails just to kind of get out and as like a distraction, something to do. But at one point, they even shut down all the trails, so there was nothing to do. We couldn't leave our houses, and so I used to FaceTime. My mom's partner, he's a really good drummer, and so we'd like just jam on FaceTime. I feel so bad for my neighbors. It was probably really bad because we had my internet connection was really bad, so it was always lagging and we weren't in time, but we were trying. But it was such a good distraction during times like that.
Awesome. So I'll start with your next question. So what are like the positives and negatives into creating your own music, and how do you get through those like negative moments as an artist?
I say for negative wise, it's so easy to be hard on yourself, and I mean, especially when I'm writing, I there's a lot of times where I'm like, I don't know, like I expect a lot of myself all the time, and sometimes I gotta remind myself, I'm like, okay, I'm not a robot. I'm not gonna like everything that I write, but sometimes it can be really discouraging to like, take a break from it and stop being consistent. And I guess with that is, yeah, just continuing to show up and knowing that, you're gonna eventually get to like those gems if you keep showing up. And yeah, I'd say that's a big one. And I say for the positive, it's I think it's made me more introspective as a person. Like I can really analyze what I'm feeling, and yeah, it's made me more in tune with myself, and also I think it's made me more mindful of other people, and just like when I write stories that aren't necessarily my experience, just kind of, yeah, it's helped by just knowing like everyone has all these different backstories and not everyone necessarily knows about, and yeah, I think that's really helped me just day to day as a person.
So that's my very last question. So what's like next for you, like goal wise, for like music for the rest of 2021?
I'd say I'm gonna have a little bit of time on my hands. Like my schedule's been crazy right now, but in about a month or so, I'm gonna have a bit more time on my hands. And I mean, I've been constantly writing things, and I think the next step is just like sharing it. And I'm planning on doing that in about a month or so. I have a bunch of things I've been working on that I just want to, share. And a lot of the songs I've been writing recently have been some of the most honest things that I've written, and really like very much me. And so I'm a little nervous, but I'm also super excited because, yeah, I've a lot of times, like, I've written some things that maybe would be like a bit exaggerated, or songs that are other people's stories. More recently I've been writing stuff that's more my own, but as I get older and get more relationships and meet more people, I have more stories to tell, and they're definitely some of the most revealing songs from me coming up. So I'm really excited to share those.
Awesome. Well, I have to ask, by the way, would you like to perform one of your original songs on the show, by the way, Kyla?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
I don't know how well my mic's set up for this, but I'm going to give it a go. Can you hear the guitar like this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I have got features that I can't hide. When I gave in you, knew what I share what's in. I've been scared to see what you will have, the more you are for me. Think it's bound to be anytime now. You're fast forward again, now barely breathe, 'cause you know so many things that could break me. The more you know, the less I think you say. Each time I think you go, you can love me anywhere the 7.
Awesome. Well, can I just say thank you so much, Kyla, for making an appearance on my show. It's been such a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Do you have any last final thoughts that you'd like to give to people on the show?
Yeah, just honestly, I just want to thank you everyone for listening, and thank you for doing what you do and for having me. It's been so fun.